.0.
Welcome back to .0. I'm going through hundreds of metal miniatures for Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. These are the metal miniatures that were made back in the late 70s, 80s, and 90s. Today I thought I would go through dwarves. Initially, I played as a gnome and I did not own any miniatures. My first miniatures were dwarves and also some goblins. But of course, I played as a dwarf, and right away I started playing as this figure here on the left. Now, later I played this character quite a bit as well, but I thought we would come back to that one later and focus on how I started this game. And again, I played this dwarf right here that's in front of you. You're seeing a little bit of a clear coat on it because it's so old that I tried to preserve it. Let's see if I can zoom down just a little bit on him. And pretty good figure. You know, you can see the older figures don't have as much detail work, but they're really creative. So full beard here with the shield, right? He's got the spear coming up the side. Mace on the side as well. Cape and then a sword across the back. Wicked cool, right? Tons of weapons. Every superhero needs a cape. I loved playing this character. You know, I'd hate to think of how many times this spear point right here bent over the years. Now, I know on the gnomes, I think I said accidentally 1971 on the bottom, which I must have meant 81. On this one, I believe it is 1980. Okay, now I've got another one that's just like this. So how about, actually, you know what we're going to do is, well, I'll show you that one that I've got that's just like it, just for the heck of it. You can see that as time went by, another upgraded version came out. Has a little bit of a different base here that you're seeing on the bottom, but it's still the same exact figure. You know, I was worried that these were going to fall apart, or who knows, even that I could lose them, so I bought some backups back then because I just absolutely loved my dwarves. Okay, so how about I'll take this guy out and get him out of the way. And that's what I wanted to do next, was show you that another one that came from the set. Initially, this set had 4 dwarves in it, this first one that I played, but it also had this one here that shows on the bottom. It was made in 1979. So definitely an old figure. And I loved playing this character as a non-player character because he was more of an adventurer, not just a hack and slash character that did all sorts of fighting, but more explored. And what I liked about it is you're not seeing a ton of armor, like not even a helmet on him, just kind of a hood and a cloak. It's kind of a cape more on him, but let me flip this over a little bit. And just more of a character, not just a warrior, you know what I mean? More fun. You can definitely see the detail work on these old figures like this. See, maybe I can zoom in even a little bit more, and you can see his face even. Mustache blending into a beard, his eyes. It's pretty awesome. Okay, now in that same set, there was another little dwarf here. And this one has a helmet on. Now, initially, this axe blade was different. I replaced this, I believe. Maybe I can put him up right like this where you can see it. Yeah, it's zooming in nice. Okay, so this, it had an axe on it that kind of was twisted in a different orientation, and it wasn't this exact head, but I put this on there. I'll show you another piece that's like this and has a little different handle as well. Old, right? It has still lead in it. Maybe a little bit of lead rod even. After all these years. Flip him over. What do we got on his back here? So just a little sword and a shield. And again, these are definitely to scale. And this guy probably really is 4 feet tall, exactly like he should be. Okay, actually, I'm going to go back just a hair before I go much further forward. On that last one, remember I showed you the old piece that I had here? I can't remember. And I've got a different one that's just the same. Again, it was the same thing that I just, got a new set because I was worried that, I might lose them or who knows what. But why I did that was because I wanted to show you that I actually have one that's the same design again, but when you look close, see it's a different shield here. This one has like flowers or buttons or something like that, versus the original one, see, is truly a wood shield. I have no idea why it's different or how it changed like that, but nonetheless there's a different version and I've got both of them. Okay, now as part of that first set, again of 4, one of them was this female dwarf. Now you can see here close, right? Definitely a female here, but she doesn't have a beard like sometimes, right? The dwarven women were supposed to have beards. I think it was meant to imply that this is female. And she looks like she's got a crossbow here. And what I like about this is a lantern here. You can imagine dwarves using their infravision to pass through caverns and passageways in a dungeon and that kind of thing, seeing in the dark. But the rest of the party is going to need to see. So you can almost imagine that she's leading the way here with her lantern. And in the bottom, what do we got here? Shows, I think, 1980. So this is definitely an old piece as well. Okay, and then you can see here that she's got a shield and she's ready to go. Okay, one last thing that I wanted to show you. In that original set, remember we had this guy that I changed the axe on like this. Well, here's a replica of it with an original axe. I did not put this on here, but this is also not the same axe head that was on the other one that I replaced. And like I said here, see, we got a little bit of a different handle, but otherwise it's still the same design. Go back and look at this helmet. Yeah, see, it's exactly even the same helmet now that I look close. Oh no, it's not. Look, even the helmet's different. Okay, let me flip this up on its side so that you can see. See, this has kind of a smaller thing here, and then when I put this up like this, look, it's different. It's longer. So it was completely redesigned. Okay, so let's move on to... Oh no, I actually have one other thing I want to show you. Okay, so the very first character that I played looked like this guy, right? That it was... In fact, I'll pull it out here. This one here. But see here, they designed another figure with that same dwarf riding a saber-toothed tiger. So now how about we get this out of the way so that it can zoom in on that for you. It might be a little bit of a different spear. See, this spear looks a little longer, but it's the same shield, same helmet design, same long beard. Everything looks the same. He's even got the mace coming down the side, just sitting on a bedroll here, right on top of a saddle. Let me flip this to the other side real quick. And then we've got a full-blown saber-toothed tiger here with some monster teeth. That'd be quite a character, and whoever the poor guy was that had to train that critter, you got to feel for him. That's got to be a little tougher than just training a lion, right? Okay, so I've got a dwarf here. Looks like just a regular dwarf with an axe here, maybe a guy that's hanging out in the forest, that type of thing, or underground doing a bunch of work. I don't know. We can see on the back here, so we got axe across here, knife down the side, pouch. Yeah, definitely a dwarf. No helmet, but we can see all that detail work on his face. Let's go to the next one here. How about same kind of size anyway? Looks like he's definitely more for adventuring. I can imagine this character being played as a character in a adventure. He's got a flail here coming across the bottom. See, with the ball on the bottom. Let me jump out here and see if my camera can zoom in on it. Again, I'm using this IP EVO camera. It really does a pretty good job of zooming in. Again, when you look that these figures are only the size of my first knuckle, that's kind of crazy. Okay, now my plan is just to kind of keep rolling through these and not take too much time, because it's more about seeing them and having fun rolling through them, and I don't want to spend too much time just goofing off with it. I'd rather give you lots to look at. Okay, so here we got a crossbowman. I'll let that zoom in for you. We got his arrows back here. Pretty cool crossbow across here. Maybe we can zoom in. A little different design. Obviously a newer figure, different base here. I can't tell who makes it. I'm sure it's probably Ralph Partha. He's obviously got the beard, and you can see enough of his face there. Maybe I'll go like this and see if you can zoom in and see. So look at even the crossbow bolt on the top here. That's kind of neat. Okay, now I think maybe we can knock out another one here that was exactly the same. That I probably shouldn't have put over here. How about this will be an older one? A dwarf with a spear. You're seeing a little bit of that clear coat that I had to put on all these, and it unfortunately turned kind of an amber color as the years went by and kind of yellowed. Let's see if I can straighten that out real quick for you. Yeah, actually the camera's doing a real good job of zooming in. Helmet here, right? Cape or a cloak coming around. Okay, how about the next one here? This looks like a different kind of design, but a dwarf nonetheless. A little newer version. We've got this newer version of the base. Excellent. Look at his face here. Okay, how about I spin him around so you can see his back. And we got here a little sword coming down the side and some pouches here on his belt. Big axe, right? Okay, how about this next one? Let's go with a bow here. We got two of these actually. How about I'll throw both of them in at the same time, make this a little faster. So front and then back. So the same figure. Both of them pretty old, right? Because you can see all the lead rot in them. The darkening makes it even a little tougher for my camera to zoom in on them, actually. But you can see here he's got his arrows on the back. The bow up here looks like this bow is a little bit broken. I've had these since probably, sheesh, at least the mid-'80s. Pretty old. Oh, look at that. He's got a... Oh, I thought maybe I had a different hat on it now that I look close, but no, I think it is the same now that I look closer at it. You compare them here. How about this next one? We'll go with a newer design with another one with a battle axe, it looks like here. Not sure who makes it. Got something going on here. What do we got here? Like some... Surely those are not little skulls. Maybe it's got like some pouches or something. Not really sure. Here, how about I'll let my camera zoom in real quick for you. Okay. Zoom back out here and show you the back. Oh, he's got a really cool crossbow on his back. Actually a really cool axe, doesn't he? And nice armor. That's a pretty nice figure. Oh, what's this? Maybe like a map case or something here? See, I love it when they're more like explorers. I don't want them to just be ready to go to war all the time. Okay, let's go to another one here that's a little bit of a different design, but he has a really wicked cool battle hammer here, or war hammer, however you want to say it. Maybe I can roll this up and you can see that weapon. That's pretty cool, huh? Kind of see his face. Definitely a dwarf. See, I like these where they're really obviously a dwarf. And dwarves should be a little shorter, a little more round, kind of like a little tank, you know what I mean? And these are real well designed. Really creative. Really feel like a dwarf, you know what I mean? Dwarves are a lot of fun to play. A lot of people they just want to play humans. Why would you want to play a human? You're a human all the time. Play something else. Okay, let's move on to this other one here. Have another cool little dwarf. He's got a like a crossbow, I think, right over his... Yeah, he's got a really cool crossbow over his shoulder. Maybe if I go like that, we'll zoom in on him a little bit. He's got an axe in one hand. In a lot of ways, I mean, they're all kind of the basic same design with a, mustache blending into a beard, and, you can see they're kind of big dopey eyes, which is pretty cool, though. Like I said, I like my dwarves. I like them to look like dwarves, too, and I'm going to show you a few here in a second that I don't think quite as much look like a dwarf, and I think it's a shame. Looks like his hood kind of coming down the back and a cape. Yeah, cool. How about this? We'll go with this older design here. We've got a dwarf, I believe, right? This is a dwarf. I think it's dwarf. It's going to be a dwarf for the moment if it's not. Old metal. See, with the not rotted, but old metal. Looks like a dwarf that's, and I believe this is. He's got a crossbow sitting out in the, maybe I can zoom out, sitting in a stump, kind of hiding. He's got it propped up there to take a shot, and he's got some protection, right? You know, you can see here, this is an old pour. Look how they had to have two pours here. Or it looks like two pours anyway. Yeah, I can flip this over and just kind of see the, what's that? Oh, I thought there was something hidden down in there. Just the stump that he's been hiding in. Okay, let's move on to, how about this guy here? Now, he's a little bigger. He's a little too big for my likings as a dwarf. See how the body is taller. You know, in my opinion, this is everybody as tall as a human, maybe even a little bigger around. This would be like a 220-pound dwarf. Dwarf shouldn't be that big. They should only be about, 120 or maybe 140 pounds or, I don't know, something like that. He's got a cool helmet, wings on it. What do we got on the front here? Some kind of a crest or something, I'm not sure. Definitely got a really neat beard coming all the way around. Shield. Really neat armor on the back. Okay. Not sure what it says here. Something. Need to relax. Okay. Again, a little too big for what I liked as should represent a dwarf. Got an older figure here. I'm not really sure what this guy is supposed to be. Looks like just a guy holding an axe, but it's almost, like he, I don't think he even has armor on. It's almost like he's just a towns kind of person or something. Put this up where you can see it a little bit. Almost like he's just a woodsman. I don't really see any armor on him, but I still think it's supposed to be a dwarf. But I'm not sure where I got this. It's a different design. What's the bottom say? 1990 Ralph Partha. Maybe it was part of like a different set or something. I'm not sure. How about we'll do this guy real quick. Too small and too slight, in my opinion, to fit the mold of being a dwarf, but it was obviously meant to be a dwarf. I mean, you can see the beard and the mustache coming off. He's got a big battle axe, but this is too slight, in my opinion, to, when you consider what these other ones, how about just I'll grab one of these bow guys, but see, even a little bow guy, much thicker and bigger heads, and I prefer that design. But nonetheless, right, it's a pretty cool figure. We're obviously not going to get rid of it. Okay, let's go on to this next one. How about this little guy? We'll knock him out. Now, this might be a gnome. I think it was actually supposed to be a dwarf, though. Kind of same thing. It's a little bit too slight. I don't know how a heavier set dwarf would fit into all this thin armor like this. Not even sure if a gnome could fit into this, to be honest. Definitely not a halfling, though, either. Definitely a lot of armor on this. Yeah, pretty cool battle axe. Looks like maybe we're getting a little wear. Maybe, I'm not sure what that is. Maybe just some bumps off the metal. Sword down the side. Full plate mail anyway, that's for sure. Definitely ready for battle. Not adventuring. How about let's go to this one. Looks like a really cool piece here. Little big, right? Perhaps for a dwarf. But it's definitely a dwarf and really neat. Yeah, it's probably a little too tall. Wicked cool beard here that's all bound up on the bottom. Got him a really cool pouch on the front. Heavy armor on the bottom. This almost reminds me of like a video game kind of dwarf, you know what I mean? This guy definitely means business. I mean, look how big that axe is. Can you imagine swinging that thing around? I think it'd be so heavy. I had a time where a dog was attacking me and I had a wood baton trying to hit the dog to keep it from biting me, and I swung like 20 times at it and never hit it once because it moved out of the way. You swing something like this around, it'd be awful dang hard to hit anything. But it's really cool. Look at that big cape. Awesome. Yeah, it's another neat, really neat figure. How about one more of this? Then I've got two more at the end, and we'll finish up for today. Now, again, same kind of thing like I've been saying. This is, in my opinion, too big of a piece to be a dwarf. but still really well designed. I mean, look at this neat braided beard thing coming down here. I think that's his beard. I was going to say maybe it's coming from the back. I don't know, but I think it's the front here. Really cool helmet. Giant axe. I mean, look how big that axe is. Let me get out of the way and let's see if that'll zoom in on it real quick for you. Give you an idea what it looks like. And I'll spin this up on its side here. Now, I think this is supposed to be like a chief or something like that, right? Or a king, maybe something like that. So he's got this cape that's got all sorts of fur sewn into it or something like that, which is really cool. You know, obviously it looks like nobility. And then let's take a look at his shield here. I don't know if that'll zoom in or not. Yeah, kind of. Almost. Yeah, a little bit too big. Okay, next one here. It's kind of a two-piece one. You'll see why here in a second. So I got a female dwarf, which is pretty cool, right? We don't have too many of these. Let's look close at her real quick here now. Obviously, female, right? She's got a chest here, but no hair again. So, you know, she could have had a beard and still been a dwarf. But look at this girl. She is muscled up and means business. And if you look at me, look at her big arms. Look at her face. It's pretty cool. I wouldn't say she's the prettiest girl at the dance, but that's all right. She's pretty cool. Got her back here. Okay, so yeah, really neat. Now, why I said that it was kind of a two-part thing is, you know, when you look close at this guy. Now, this guy I played as a non-player character a lot, and I did that when I was dungeon mastering. And if you look close, it's like these guys have the same exact axe. So, I don't know, maybe this is like a husband and wife thing. They go adventuring together. Who knows? But you can see that they do kind of have that same. Now, this is probably my favorite dwarf, even though, quite honestly, it is a different design. He's a little bit too thin. Giant muscles. Golly, he's muscled up. So he's definitely a wicked cool dwarf fighter. And I absolutely love the antlers on the head. I mean, how creative and how cool is that? He's got like a braided beard as well coming down, and then the helmet up over his eyes, it looks like. Yeah, definitely just a really cool piece. Whoever did this, you know, kudos to you, because you really put some good thinking into this one and was really creative. Love the axe. Look at the ponytail coming down the back. Yeah, just awesome. A lot of fun to play that guy. Okay, so let's do this. I'll put the original figure that I started off playing plus this other one that I played a lot to end this video. I really hope you enjoy. Maybe you get to reminisce a little bit as I reminisce, going through all my old metal miniatures. Like I said, we've got about 950 of these to go through. We only knocked out about 30 today. So how about this? Be safe until we see each other again next time.